I'm on the fair committee for a local fair, and my wife and I got roped into running the ag tent. Well, that's not right. So those are too long. Alright, well, so 8 times 3 is 24, not 32, so I need to cut these shorter. So the cake stand, there's going to be 3 of these sort of pyramid things, and then they'll be standing up, and there'll be planks going across, and they'll be able to set baked goods on them. But it needs to be able to pack flat so we can store it for next year. And so everything, we have one that's this design or basic layout. However, it's all screwed together, so we have to unscrew it and screw it back together and figure out which planks go where and which orientation, and figure out what screw bits we used last year and where the screws are and where. Anyways, it's of the fair setup that I do is probably the biggest pain in the neck. So it takes longer to set up the cake stand than it does to set up a whole 20 by 30 tent, typically. So anyways, so I'm going to make this hopefully quick and easy to set up and take down. So I'm going to put in little notches in the corners so that the shelves, when they sit down, they index in, they won't slide off, but they'll just drop into place. There's going to be a notch here. Anyways, you'll see when it gets together more, but these are going to be half up together and have a rib down the middle that just these will plop into, and it should be completely toolless and secure and way better than what we have. So I'm going to get these little notches cut. There we go. Rinse and repeat. Instead of getting a notch out of the corner on the tops, they're going to get a notch in the middle. I could have done them all in the middle, but it's easier to notch a corner than to cut out a thing in the middle. So I'm going to cut there, the sides, and I'm going to chisel down and knock out that piece. Have this piece here so I'll protect my wood, my bench, bolt casts. Bit crude, but that'll work. Clean up the edges here. Release them. this is why I built a good woodworking bench. This bench is way more than just a flat surface to work on. These holdfasts are great. They're really quick, hold the piece nice and securely. This thing is very heavy, doesn't go anywhere. It's really solid workbench to work off of. Try doing this sort of thing on a regular workbench or without the holdfasts, hopping all over the place. This would be very unpleasant. Take these off. So even having a solid workbench without those, I guess it's okay. It's moving a little now. It moves because I move the chisel around to get that out. Yeah, these things are the way to go. Probably would come out better if I put it on the table saw and took notches out, but that would take longer, and it really doesn't matter for this project. My plan also requires a slot in the bottom here, so I'm going to actually do that partially with the skill saw, and because it'll be more precise and a little bit quicker, because this joint matters a little bit more than the top ones do. So I'm going to get those cut, finish them with the handsaw, and do the same chisel method. So my workbench has these dogs, which you can pop up to push against when you're planing or doing other stuff. The plans called for putting like a springy thing here, so when you lifted it up, they'd stay. Didn't get around to actually doing that on these. Figured I could do that later, but I discovered I can turn them around, and they hold pretty well. And actually, just now I realized that, well, this is too short, right? But if I do this, now that's going to be perfect height to hold that block while I chisel. So, let's see, actually, let's go with it. I've got all my notches cut for my index thing. So my plan is I'm going to put in pocket screws and a little bit of glue and hold each one of these together. So I'm going to start pocket screwing. I'm going to put the screws in the short ones because that way I know that I'll actually hit. If I put screws in the long ones, I might end up doing the pocket up higher where I'll miss. So I think maybe I'll do 2 on each side, or maybe 2 on one side, 1 on the other. I'll see. Normally with pocket screws you have a hidden side and a not hidden side. So this side both sides you'll be able to see the pocket screws, and I don't really care. It's just how else are you going to attach these pieces together. I could just glue them, but then I need a whole bunch of clamps, and anyways, I'm going to pocket screw them. I don't have the right length pocket screws because these were 1.5 inches and they're planed down now to 1.25 inches. So the ones for the 2.5s might stick through, but since I'm doing them from both sides, I'm going to use the ones for 3/4. Just got everything set up. So that should be perfectly fine. They shouldn't stick through and they should hold just fine. So if you're doing thicker stuff, you can set up your jig to be for thinner stuff and it shouldn't matter. Another use for these holdfasts is this. Now I need this. And I'm set to drill. So you can get clamps, and also there's a vice grip thingy which I have with quick click clamps, and that's not bad. But then the whole piece still wobbles. So now it's securely attached to my workbench as well. My plan is to make a notch here with a slant in the back. Then I'm going to make a wedge which will fit in this back side. I could just make this the slot the same thickness as these and hope it's good enough, but I want to make sure that it's good and secure. So I'm going to try doing the slot. And also this is going to be stored outside, so if it moves or finish is bigger or smaller, I don't want it to be a fight to get it together or apart. So that's my plan. Sticking to it. Well, hopefully I'll stick to it. If not, I can just make a new one of these. So here's the basic idea. Got the shelves nice and secure. The wedges in there. I'm going to put the shelves on top of here. Probably will put little notches in them so they're a little bit wider than just 7 inches. Because some of the things that people bake are on a bigger tray, so they're less likely to fall off. Do a quick demo on how it sets up. So first, balance is there. Drops in. And these wedges, you'll be able to see, the wedges drop in. there we go. Easy as that. So it sets up way easier than the old baked good stand. The other one took two or three people, like way longer. And it's nice and stable, not going anywhere. These do slide, but nobody's going to push on these hard enough to slide them.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, I'd hope you'd consider subscribing. I've got a virtually endless supply of projects I could make videos about. If there's something I can do better, or if there's a type of video you'd like to see more of, leave a comment down below,